A very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the CBC Evening News for Sunday, July 1st. In our top story, Barbados has put together a strong negotiating team and is ready to engage in discussions with the International Monetary Fund's representatives from tomorrow, July 2nd, until the 12th of this month. The disclosure has come from Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, who says the IMF officials have already started requesting data, which Barbados is in the process of finalizing. Mr. Strawn says those early meetings will show where the island is fiscally and then start to drill down to the specific sectors of government. Now, the funds team will also meet with members of the private sector. Government has already announced that it is going to be restructuring its debt, and this will form part of the negotiations with the IMF. Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley said on June 1st that the island's public debt was as high as 171% of GDP, and corrective economic and fiscal measures are needed to place it on a sustainable footing. She announced then that she had a telephone conversation with the managing director of the IMF, Christine Lagarde, and a mission had been invited to visit Barbados. Now, that team came to Barbados from June 4th to 7th to meet with Ms. Motley and officials. Subsequently, the Prime Minister and her team went to Washington to have talks with Ms. Lagarde on June 14th and 15th. Well, Acting Prime Minister Santia Bradshaw says there needs to be greater consultation between environmental groups and promoters when it comes to the hosting of events. Her comments come in the wake of the postponement of the Yellow Soca on the Beach event, which was scheduled to take place at the Drill Hall Beach this afternoon. The action was taken after the Barbados Sea Turtle Project raised some serious concerns about the hosting of that event. Officials at the project pointed out that the beach is the most important nesting area for turtles on the island. Ms. Bradshaw led a team of ministers, officials from the National Conservation Commission, the promoters and sponsors of the event to the beach to talk about the issue. In the end, the parties agreed that it would be in the best interest of everyone involved to call off the event. Ms. Bradshaw says that she was very pleased with how the discussions went.
The National Conservation Commission, through the Minister, has also taken note of the concerns that have been expressed by all parties. I think we are all cognizant that this is a very popular beach, but at the same time we have a responsibility to our marine life to ensure that we protect the environment. And I think we've gotten some assurances from the Ministry that going forward there will be further collaboration between the Barbados Sea Turtle Project and the Ministry of the Environment to ensure that a number of our beaches are designated not only as protected areas, but also that we are able to highlight specifically where the sea turtles are located.
And Director of Public Awareness and Education for the Barbados Sea Turtle Project, Carla Daniel, says she was very heartened by the response to protect the sea turtles.
It's not every day that you have government ministers, the Prime Minister, promoters and sponsors and conservation advocates being on the same page with regards to a particular situation. And I will say that I'm fully cognizant that a sacrifice has been made by the promoters, by the sponsors, that money has already been spent that cannot be recouped, that perhaps there may have been some inconvenience to persons who are looking forward to attending this event. And I am very sorry about those issues, but I will say that our sea turtles deserve it. That really is the truth. They are worth it. The value of sea turtles to Barbados, you cannot put a dollar amount on it.
And in a media release this afternoon, Rudy Maloney from 4D Entertainment said it was never their intention to cause any harm to the turtles at either the Drill Hall Beach or any wildlife on the island. He says every care was taken to ensure that minimal disruption took place while setting up for that event. Well, there is a suggestion that fisherfolk should work closer together to ensure their financial future is safe. It's coming from Member of Parliament for Christchurch South, Ralph Thorne, who was speaking during celebrations for fishermen. Mr. Thorne outlined what he sees as the future path for the fisherfolk in Oistins.
Stay united and to continue in that unity and to look towards creating a cooperative out of your efforts there on a daily basis. To look towards creating a credit union out of this industry in this area. And I can say to you, I've spoken to one of the leading credit unionists in Barbados, and in a few weeks we hope to come here and to have a meeting and to look towards setting up a cooperative of the oysters fishing folk and a credit union amongst the oysters fishing folk.
Minister of Home Affairs Edmund Hinkson says the National Cleanup Program will tackle a problem which requires continuous attention. Mr. Hinkson, who is also the Member of Parliament for St. James North, says residents have continually raised the matter of dumping in the gully there and its effect.
Very well respected Mr. Beliko, who just lives up the road there, would have been in contact with me and asked me to intervene on the residents' behalf and on the general on behalf of all the residents really in St. Peter and downwards, to speak with the Ministry of Drainage and Transport and Works and try and get them to clear this gully. I didn't realize at that time that this was one of the main areas causing the problems that we know about in Gills Terrace down in Speightstown, that up to last year was almost devastated.
Mr. Hinkson has appealed to Barbadians to be a part of the solution to illegal dumping.
When you take your garbage and put it somewhere else, you're just transferring the problem. I know that there is a difficulty in terms of where you have to dump. There's a cost element, but that goes with the price of development. I'm happy to see that, as my colleague minister said, that the debris from here, materials, will be taken to sustainable recycling. It is, and you know, try to convert into material that can be useful.
And stay with us. We'll have more news right after the break. An elderly cyclist is tonight seriously injured but alive. This after he was involved in an accident with another vehicle, which police and eyewitnesses say never stopped. Kareem Smith was on the scene.
Police are investigating yet another hit-and-run incident. This time it occurred at Baxter's Road and sent members of the community into a state of shock. It happened in broad daylight as people were relaxing on Sunday afternoon. When we arrived, the only things left were a badly bent bicycle, a hat, and multiple eyewitnesses.
I was there with my girlfriend, my friend is shot. We were there drinking a beer, sitting up on this bench. And we were looking up, and I saw this car come from Pastor's Roadside. And the bicycle man was coming down from the straight road, Barbie's. The car just hit the lamp and touched the bonnet, and the car came right to this car part here, skinny off, and then take off and gone straight down the Harbour Roadside, down West Bay Road.
So when that occurred, how did you feel?
I had to feel bad, cause I thought the man was dead, cause he hollered hard, and the man cut, then the man cut up and bleeding bad, all the hand, all the head cut up and bleeding.
Police say the 61-year-old man received injuries to the head and hands, but are not yet revealing his identity. Thankfully, he's in stable condition. It's the latest in a string of hit-and-run incidents for the year, which are either pending in court or under police investigation. Kareem Smith, CBC News.
Well, there's some good news tonight for members of the local visual arts community. Word is that they should soon have access to the long-awaited National Art Gallery. Lisa Broom tells us more.
The Crop Over Festival continues to heat up, and the island's visual artists had their day in the spotlight over the weekend with the launch of the Central Bank of Barbados Crop Over exhibition. The outstanding artists were rewarded for their work in the keenly contested competition, and they were also given some good news. Culture Minister John King told them that not only has a space at Block A, the Garrison, been identified as the new home for the National Art Gallery, but efforts to get it ready are progressing well. He says what's needed now are the funds to outfit the building.
Once the renovations are completed, you're welcome. Once the renovations are completed, this would ensure that government-owned exhibition space would be accessible to local artists. We expect that this will result in an increased number of galleries available to our artists. We also hope that it would be in turn it would lead to an increased number of exhibitions held throughout the year. Furthermore, the accommodation for the Barbados National Art Gallery would allow for the employment of the relevant staff, which is necessary for the effective functioning of the gallery.
Just before addressing the artists in the official opening ceremony, Minister King toured the Courtney Blackman Grand Salle, where some of the 162 pieces made up of 2- or 3-dimensional art and craft were on display. And from among them, Anya Stephen walked away with the top prize of the Central Bank Purchase Award of Excellence with her piece Anecdote. She also copped the Best Depiction of Theme Award, while Justin Downey won the Central Bank Governor's Award for his creation called Progressive Regressive. And Andrew Moore of Paradise Yard Designs won the Barbados Investment and Development Corporation-sponsored Incentive Award for his PVC bird sculpture. The exhibition opened today and runs until August 4th. Lisa Broom, CBC News.